Welcome back to King's Authority. In this video and video 2, we're actually going to go into a little more depth about the playing cards and how they work. But please note that we're not going to go into great detail about each one of the cards because we want to try to keep it under 10 minutes, so that way I don't overwhelm you, because just looking at these cards alone, you're going to be overwhelmed probably. But it's pretty simple, and when people play it, they grasp the cards really quickly. So like I said, you probably might feel a little overwhelmed just in this video, so we're going to keep it sweet. So as I indicated in video 1, your cargo actually has numbers up in the left hand corner, and that's a good way to know that these are cargo. Also, the way to know that these are cargo is they actually have items on them like fish and spices and things of the sort. And the object of the game is to get a set of 5 of any one of these cards or a run of 5. And once you do so, you place it in section 1 and then you move on from there. By doing so, like this, you indicate you have a run. If you pile it up like that, it tells everyone you have a set of 7s. Now, as I indicated in video 1 also, you start off with only one discard pile. So you have 7 cards in your hand. On your turn you go up to 9, but you always have to get back down to 7, and your objective every hand is to try to get cargo onto your docks and move them. So if you do not get any more piers, which are these cards, you are only going to be able to put it on that one dock, and you can only take the top card from that pier. So you definitely want to make sure you get extra piers, so that way you can have extra cards to grab from to fill your hand. You can only have up to 4 piers in front of you, which includes the pier you started with. If you happen to grab another pier, it destroys the pier that has the most cards on it. And if you can't make a decision on which one has the most, the other players will be glad to help you and tell you which one you're getting rid of. So you'll have to get rid of it, and then next round, if you happen to pick up another pier, you can replace it and put it back there and start all over. Now, the next card we're going to discuss is the Knight. The Knight works when you play it, you can actually take a card from someone else's pier. So that's why this card's really nice to play, is because maybe you see a card out here on one of the other players' piers, and you like it, and you say, hey, that 5, I really like it, I need it. Well, by playing this, I can now say I want that 5, and I get it, and it comes over to me, and this gets trashed. The next card is the Queen. The Queen is an interesting card because she can protect as well as she can attack. When she attacks by being able to steal from somebody else's hand. So I can say, hey, I have a queen, I want to steal from your hand. And you might say, well, why would I want to steal from somebody else's hand? Well, maybe you're messing up their set or run. Maybe you're taking one of their good character cards from them. You're doing it to try to throw a monkey wrench into their gameplay. So you play this card, you can steal from their hand. But if the person happens to have a queen in their hand, they could play their queen, and that will protect them from a queen attack. And then the queens will actually go into the trash. Any card, when it's played, that's a character card, actually goes into trash. The next card has a lot of detail, but we're going to go over the quick and skinny of this one. This one actually allows you to hold partial cargo. So if I happen to have only, you have to have a minimum 3. I have a 5, 6, 7, but I don't have the finished cargo. I could play this on top, and I could put this on the side. It doesn't go on the dock, but it goes to the side, and I can now draw more cards to fill my hand up back up to 9, and then I can continue. And if I happen to get a card that can replace it, it can. Now, the other thing that she can do is she can be played against somebody, which means I could play this on somebody's piers, and now it just froze the piers, and the person can't draw from here. They would have to play a character card in order to get rid of her, to be able to get back to playing and grabbing from their pier. The Pirate. The Pirate is an interesting card regarding being able to play this card. Let's just say all the cards in my hand are not good. I can play this card and I can discard my whole hand and regain 9 more cards. So it allows me to start over. The other thing it allows you to do is it allows you to dig straight into one pier. So if I knew, let's just say there's 20 cards here, that there's a 5 all the way down at the bottom, then I could play this and say I want to go grab a card from out of here. I play that card, it allows me to go into one pier and grab. You can't search every single pier. You have to indicate which pier you're going into to grab from. The other thing you can do when you're playing against somebody else, you need 2 pirates. You can actually steal a ship when it's out to sea. So they have a ship that's out to sea at position 2. You play 2 pirates, you steal it, now it comes over to your playmat, goes into position 1, and now you have this cargo going out instead of the player that originally had it. The King. The King protects against all attacks at land. And what that means is it protects from attacks on piers, it protects from attacks on docks, and it protects from attacks that people do on your hand. Those are all considered land protection. It does not protect against sea. Cannot protect against sea. Now, the other thing that the king can do is he can destroy things on other people's playmats. So he can say, I want to remove a piece of cargo. He gets to decide which piece of cargo gets removed, and it gets trashed, and this card gets trashed as well. The player who has this playmat would actually have to play the card sideways, completely sideways, to indicate that this cargo is missing a piece of cargo, and if possible they could show, like this, that there's a 5 missing. So now we know that the 5's missing, and if somebody happens to have, if this same person happens to have another king, they can play a 5 and they can now steal this cargo away from you. So now, the other thing this card can do is if you happen to have 3 kings, you can actually play 3 kings and destroy somebody's ship that's at sea. So it's a good way to stop somebody from being able to score. So it's a really nice card to have. The next card is the Shapeshifter. The Shapeshifter can be any card except for the Wizard and the Dragon, because those are specialty cards. It could be any character card, it could be any cargo. But you also have to keep in mind, when it's cargo, it can only be one piece of cargo, as well as there can only be one Shapeshifter in your cargo. There cannot be 2. So you can't have 2 of these cards in a piece of cargo. And it could be any piece of cargo as well as any country. So you can indicate if you like that it's a specific country. The Dragon and the Wizard are the specialty cards that were added, and they only have 4 of them, so they are the least used cards and least active cards in this game, but they have the most power. When you're using a dragon, you can use a dragon on yourself, and when you use it at self, you can protect against attack from sea. So if somebody attacked you at sea, like the pirates or the king wanted to sink your ship, this card, if played, will actually protect you from those attacks, right? Now, it can also, when you play it against others, you can sink their ship that's at sea, or you could destroy one of their peers. So it gives you the ability to do those things. The last thing it allows you to do when playing it on self, if you play it on yourself and you have cargo out here at sea, it actually pushes you 1 extra space. So if this round you move to number 1 and you're out at sea, by playing this card you can actually move your cargo to number 2. So you're getting yourself closer to the end goal. The Wizard protects against all attacks. So I can play this against anything. The other thing it does is you can hide this. This is a cool thing. You can hide this Wizard. Let's put these in order. I can hide this Wizard behind all this so no one knows he's there. And I could put this down like this. Now if somebody attacks me, then I go, ha ha ha, sorry, you're not going to destroy my cargo. I have a Wizard. So now the Wizard comes out and pops out to the front and sits there. And now the next time someone's going to want to destroy the Wizard and attack again. And then once they attack again, the Wizard's gone. And now this is vulnerable just like it was before. So you might be asking, well, why would I want to attack this if I know the Wizard's there? Well, once you get it out to sea, it's going to be even harder to destroy this or do anything. So you want to try to get rid of this Wizard as soon as possible, so that way by the time it gets out here it's a little easier to steal the cargo. Otherwise, once it's out here and still has a Wizard, it's going to be really hard to steal the cargo. The other things you can do is if you play this card, it can also move your cargo. Like the Dragon, how it only moves at sea, this moves your cargo anywhere, even on docks, 1 extra spot. So every one piece of your cargo would move 1 space if you played this on yourself like that. Okay. End of round card. If this card is played and there's 3 pieces of cargo out, or even 1 was shipped, then the game can end. But there's things that could stop this from ending. Somebody could play a Dragon, a Wizard, or 2 kings, and it prolongs the game for another round. So it's a good way to keep the game going. And then there's the specialty cards. These, if you look right here, matches the playmat. So that way, when this is played, it says, hey, this player is going to go next. So we can skip everybody. So it's like a skip card. Now, if this player is not in the game, it moves all the cargo 1 space. And there you go. And that's how you play this game. And that's what these cards do. And there's so much things you could do with it. And there's expansions being added on with additional things which won't be in this game, but will be added on. And I'm currently in the process of building 4 games in total, plus that expansion. So there's a lot to look forward to, and there's more playtesting coming along. I hope you enjoyed. This is King's Authority.